Hey everyone, how's it going? Daniel here. Today we are taking a look at the Apple Watch Series 7 in all of its glory here because we have all the colors to test out as well as all the sizes. We have the Starlight, Product Red, Midnight, Blue, Green. Over here we have a Space Gray from last year just so we can kind of compare screen sizes and everything because in case you didn't know, there is 20% more screen area in this year's version of the Apple Watch, which I didn't think would be that much, but when you put this thing on your wrist, it feels breathtaking. Like it feels like a very nice large screen. It feels nice and open, and it instantly kind of makes the older one look and feel kind of old just because of that smaller display. The features here that Apple's kind of talking about is the 20% more screen, the fact that it's more crack resistant, which should be good because they do crack quite easily. Now I'm not going to go ahead and test that out, but I'll just take Apple at their word. And the fact that we also have faster charging. So in the box you will now get, and I'll show you here real quick. So here you're gonna get a USB-C end cable instead of a normal USB cable. So let me open this real quick just to show you. You can see that it's a very large USB-C end. And if I pull this out, you can see that right there. So that's how it should look if you get one online. It's, I don't know why it requires such a large little adapter end right here, but that's what it is like. And it's going to charge your watch 33% faster. Now, it won't charge any old watches faster, nor will your old chargers charge this watch faster. This, you have to use what's in the box and you have to use the new watch. Now, as far as prices go and stuff, here we have a 41mm and a 45mm. For the 45mm here on the left, you're going to end up paying $429. Then for the right here on the 41mm, that's going to be $400. So a $30 difference between the two. I don't believe you should choose based on those $30. Definitely choose on the size that you like the most and fits the best on your wrist. But then there is going to be a $100 upcharge if you want the cellular version on either of one of these. So that plus the bands, it can get expensive. So look around paying like, I don't know, $500 for one of these, $600 with Apple Care, which I kind of do recommend on the off chance that you crack one of these. So there you get a glimpse there of the two different sizes, and the size is quite significant because you do get a lot more screen on the 45mm version. Good thing is that the watch size itself has not changed. All the watch bands still work perfectly, so no issues with that. Your watch collection or watch band collection is going to work just fine. All that's changed here is the actual screen. And here if we grab my old Space Gray, you can kind of get a glimpse of how this looks here, just with the watch here on the menu. So right there, I don't know if you can tell, it's kind of hard to kind of have this come across in person. Of course, last year's version already had a pretty large screen, but it basically just goes all the way to the edges and to the end this year, which is really, really nice if you're texting or if you're just looking at stuff in general. It just fills it up all the way to the end. Photos and all that are going to look really fantastic. You're also going to get a couple of new watch faces here. So if we go to plus, you have new watch faces right there. And we have the contour one, which Apple's kind of talking about a lot. It basically goes all around the actual Apple Watch edges there, and it makes the screen look huge, especially when you have it on your wrist. So just take me for my word, while it doesn't look like a big difference here, when you actually have it on your wrist and everything, it does look nice. Is it worth an upgrade over last year's model? No, not at all. I don't think so. You should just keep the one you have if you bought and upgraded last year. However, if you have a 2, 3, 4-year-old watch, then this is definitely going to be worth the upgrade. But enough of that intro. Let's go ahead and see all the watch colors. That's what you want to see. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick cut here just so I can put them all side by side and get this closer to you. All right, so here's a slightly closer look at the color. So we have the green, blue, midnight, product red, and starlight. Right there, you can kind of get your first impressions and decide as to which one you want to get right off the bat. If you want it to pop and color and everything, the blue one pops a lot. The red one does as well. Starlight, of course, a little bit more understated, but it is still very noticeable. And of course we have the midnight, which isn't really going to pop or anything. It's going to look basically like last year's and stuff because the color doesn't look significantly new. At least to the untrained eye, it's not going to look new. Of course, it does look completely different to Space Gray, and I will show you that right now. because that is a good talking point. Apple did get rid of the space gray and also silver variants of the watches, which is very interesting to see. So let me show you the difference between midnight and the space gray right here. I actually do believe that the space gray still looks like a nicer color. Let me zoom in there for you. But it is worth noting that I feel like when it's on the wrist, the new midnight color actually looks a little bit classier, just because it does just look like a black watch and it has no sheen to it really. And it just looks very plain and simple, which I actually really do like. So as a color, I prefer the space gray, but on the wrist, I was really on the fence before buying this, but once it's actually here, I actually do quite like it. So if you're on the fence, just get the midnight if you like the darker colored watches and stuff, because it is going to look really nice and it's going to match every single watch band out there. Here's the Starlight. So let's go ahead and just one by one show you these in case you wanted to see them. This is also the Starlight with the Starlight watch band, and I highly recommend this watch band. If you can, get it with this watch band. Even any of the other colors, get this watch band. I love the way that it looks. It's more of a stone colored watch band. It doesn't look like the actual Starlight watch because it doesn't have any of those pink tones or anything. This just looks like a beige stone type watch band, and it's just really, really nice. Here you can see that Starlight color. It's a little bit goldish, champagne-ish, pinkish, rosish type of thing, which looks really, really nice. But as long as you're not expecting it to look like silver, I think you're really gonna like it. Just temper your expectations. And if you have been wanting kind of like a pink watch or something like that, this one is the way to go. Here real quick side by side with the silver so you can see the difference. I definitely do think that as an overall color, the Starlight just looks fantastic. But of course, silver is super classic. It is unfortunate that Apple decided to get away with it. So I think that this is one of those colors that you can just straight up go ahead and buy it. If you kind of like the way that it looks in the video, or you like the idea of it having a slight goldish tint or rosish tint, then go ahead and buy it. You're gonna love it. I really like it. I would sport it if it wasn't for the fact that I just love every single color watch band, and I like the way that the black screen matches with the black watch. So if it wasn't for that, I would definitely go for this Starlight color. And that is my second pick actually as to what I would actually wear. Now let's go ahead on here to the product red, which if you saw the unboxing, you do get a special box and a little bit extra things there to kind of just thank you for donating a portion of your money to AIDS and HIV. You can see it here. I got it with this red watch band. I don't recommend this red watch band with this red watch, just because it kind of takes away of how nice the red colored watch is, and it kind of just ruins the effect for me. So this red watch band would work great with basically any of the other colors. Even the blue one, you could do something like that. But with the red one, I don't recommend it. I am basically a fan of just getting black with red, or maybe even white and red, just because it looks so classic. And if you really want this red to pop and look fantastic, then go with a black band that isn't going to attract attention and is instead going to focus that attention onto the actual watch itself. Look how good that looks. I think that looks a million times better than with that red watch band. It just looks so good. And this is the cellular version, so you can see that you also have that red ring around this. So if you like red, this is the way to go. Get a black watch band. Even this Nike Sport band looks fantastic. So highly recommend this color as well. And I'm basically going to recommend all the colors because I think they all look really, really good. Now let's move on to the blue here, which was a little bit of a shocker when I first opened it because it is super, super bright. And that's not a bad thing. I think that's actually a good thing. If you like blue, then this is definitely going to pop. It's not a shade of blue that I particularly would go for, but it still does look really nice. And if you want something to pop in the same way that the red one does, then you have the blue one right here. Now this is also the 41mm version, so you can see how that looks on my wrist right there. I don't have the biggest wrist in the world, but also not the smallest, so I think this watch size, I could get away with it, but I think that it doesn't look quite as good as the larger version. As a quick side comparison, here let's go ahead and put the 45mm next to the 41mm, red and blue. And you can get an idea as to how both of these look on the wrist. So what do you think looks better here on my wrist? I don't think a reference works here. I'm 5'11". that doesn't really help at all. I just kind of have medium wrist. I don't know, I'm a size 6 in the solo loop, so maybe that helps if you're kind of questioning what size to get. But if you can get the larger one, I definitely say get the larger one. It's just you can see everything much better. But don't get the larger one just because you want the larger one, because you don't want to carry around a larger watch and something more cumbersome than you need to on your wrist. So yeah, as far as just kind of the thoughts on the blue one goes, also really, really good. Maybe with a white watch band, that would look super cool. So real quick, let's go ahead and put this. This isn't a white watch band, but it is a colored band, which should kind of give us an idea of what a white band would look like. And actually, no, it doesn't, because it's the wrong size. So unfortunately, I can't put that on it, but you can get an idea there. The blue with kind of white on the sides. The actually only other one that I have for this size watch here is actually the one from the SE, and it's this kind of military green braided loop from Amazon. But you can kind of see here, kind of a more down earthy tone here along with this blue. Kind of works, but I think the blue really lends itself to more sporty bands, the same thing as the red one. So I think the blue and the red, just super sporty, go for sporty, or put a black band on it, which is probably what I would do if I got the blue one as well. Just the same thing as the red. Black is going to contrast so well with that blue. That's I think that is the way to go for that one as well. Now, of course, we have the green color that Apple's just advertising like crazy, and you can see at the end of the day, I do have to say, is a little bit of an underwhelming color. I like it, yes, because it is toned down and it looks similar to Space Gray or the Midnight, and so it's easy to pair with a lot of bands and stuff. But I think it could have been more of a fun green or something that kind of worked. Regardless, if you like green bands, you can kind of still basically use them with this green watch, because the difference is quite significant. So there's still quite a nice amount of contrast. Looks really good. And I really, really do like it. So if you like that idea of it having a slightly green wash over that aluminum, then you're really gonna like this. And the great thing is it's still gonna pair with a lot of watch bands nicely. And it's gonna look fantastic when you put on that new watch face here, the contour one. I really like the way that it looks here. Let's see there. There you go. All green, kind of works really well. I dig it. And of course, you can basically put any band on this because it's basically like Midnight or the Space Gray. Now, of course, let's talk about the Midnight here by itself. And again, it's basically just a black color. So it looks really, really good. It's going to be very straightforward, very simple. There's really nothing quite special about it or anything. The sheen that it has does look good. And I think it looks classy. I was afraid that it was going to look kind of cheap online, but it doesn't. If you like Space Gray, if you like black, then definitely just go for the Midnight. It's going to look really good in person as well. Now, one of the cool things to see here is how much the screen size has increased in just the past couple of years. So here we have, I believe this is an Apple Watch SE. Oh no, this is actually a Series 3 right here. So if you have a Series 3 in the 38mm variant, here it is how it's going to look against the newer variant. So let's go back home. I'm trying to get this watch not to lock itself. So here it is, we're back home, and you can kind of tell, no, you can definitely tell here how much that border is blocking on the right hand side from you being able to see things. Like the amount of screen real estate you're getting in this new version compared to a Series 3 is ridiculously a lot more. So yeah, I say from a Series 3, this is going to be a heck of an upgrade. You're going to get a ton of features added in there, and it's just going to feel like a much bigger watch, but it's not. It's the exact same size. Even having them here side by side, it looks like a huge watch on the left, but they're not. They're the exact same size. It's so weird. It's very, very cool. You can see that on the side, how much they've changed. Everything's quite different now. And even the back, of course, we have a bunch of new sensors on the back. So if you have like a Series 3 or an SE, this is going to be a really cool upgrade, and I think you're really, really going to like it. It just feels a bit trigger without having to get a bigger watch. Now, if you're coming from a Series 6 like I am, the change isn't going to be so significant. Let me cancel that. Let me compare these side by side so you can see. Maybe you can see it slightly better here, but here we have my Space Gray watch versus this new one. And you can see it's not super significant like the other one, like the Series 3 was, but it's still noticeable. Is it super noticeable on camera? Probably not. Probably not. But when you're wearing this thing on your wrist and you look at it, everything is much easier to look at. And one of the things I do want to show you here in the features is if I go here, we have a keyboard here on the new watch, which is actually works okay. I used it in the unboxing and I had some issues. I basically decided that it's better to just right here actually write it out and then have it suggest the words and just click space to accept it. And that seems to be easier than just kind of going like this, because I was going like that and I was kind of failing very often. Regardless, the keyboard does work quite well. In a pinch, if you're like sitting down or something, you just gotta reply real quick without pulling out your phone, you can definitely do it. And it's really cool that you can do it. Now, one of the things I didn't test out was how the keyboard is actually on the 41mm. So let me go here again and let's go ahead here and let's do it. Let's do swipe. That's not what I meant to write. I meant testing. Nope, it's texting. Testing. There we go. We got testing the keyboard. There we go. That was pretty good. And now let's go ahead and write the keyboard. There we go. So even on the 41mm, it's still going to be quite easy to use the keyboard, which is very nice. So yeah, everyone, that's pretty much it for this video. It's kind of just to give you an idea of what all these colors look like side by side. Here they are from the back. You can see those colors on the aluminum shining through. You can't really tell that the green one is green basically all the time, or at least I can't looking here at the monitor. Maybe right there actually it's shining a little bit of green. Look at that. I can see that there. It's shining through. But yeah, let me know in the comments what color you're gonna get. I think if I was choosing here, I would still go for midnight, but I guess I'll see when I order mine, because I was unable to actually order my personal one this year, so that kind of sucked. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Goodbye.